Hello again, Ka. Welcome to this Coding Academy. This is one of the best part of the course that I'll be talking about the Glassmorphism. And if you didn't have heard about it, this is the right time to understand it and how it works. Glassmorphism, it is one of the best property that is used. For example, you see a website that is like AI built, having something that their cards or even product card are looking like they are grasses, or they are even mounted on the top of another, trying to see behind it, but you can't see clear anything. The way that they build it and the way they make it is now right on the front of your eyes. So grab your VS Code Studio and dive in. If you don't have already installed the Rival server on your VS Code Studio, go in this extension and search for live server, and when you get it, you are right to go. This is a very crucial part for you, like I always tell my people. So don't leave without your subscription, and even your like or comment will be very encouraging part, and I'll be turning about it in the coming videos. And each and everything that you want to know, I'll be passing through them and even showing you how the way or how and even the way they are made, or even the way you can build your website looking very fine and fancy. So let's dive in. Control Alt P to open it with live server. That is one of, you can see how this image is big like, and you can see it is that modern fighting jets. Let us get this simple div to be like, for example, 2. We need another 2, and let's say I need another image because I named them Dubai, and I want another div to be like this, and I will have it being ice like this. And when you save, you can see it is very big. So the way to reduce this issue, no other way you can do it. They are telling me to generate something, but I cannot do it. And I will say my body to be have a padding of 0 pixels, margin of 0 pixels, and you give box sizing. What the radius must be not there. Box sizing is the one that I want to have the border box, of course. And you can set the font family to be Arial, font family to be Arial sans serif. If you have header 2 there, I want it C, font family to be fancy, and font size to cramp, Control Z, cramp like this, and you allow it between, for example, 1.2 RAM, and you may need a, for example, 3 viewer width, and I wanna need 1.5 to 1.6, for example, 6M, and even we may give the P like this to have, for example, font size to be cramp like this, and give it 1.1, for example, RAM like this, 1 lem, or 0.8 lem on the viewer width for example 2 viewer width, and we give, for example, 1.6 to peak size RAM, no, 1. For example 1, let's say that RAM like this. Control S to save, and you allow our simple image to have this width of if of 100%, and you allow it to have this applied block like this. And when you finish this, you can see the image is working very well, and even the headers are working very well. So There's no big issue with this simple thing. And then another thing that you can do, we can give our div, for example, I want to give it a background color. For example, let's say I want to give it black like this. Let's say black, and every color that is inside in it must be white. You can see it is working very shabby somehow. And you can take the section to be the supply grid like this, and when it is the supply grid, you can say grid template columns repeat, although fit like this, and you give it min maxi of, for example, min of 100, for example 12m by 100%, set to 1 FR like this. And you can see the way it is working, like being responsive like this. You can see it is acting very well. Now I'm going to do something that is magic and give it the space that is between the space that I must put here between these pictures, and I can set a simple gap and say I want the gap, for example, of 20 pixels like this. And you can see the gap is already there. And inside the div, I can take the article to have, for example, to have the padding of 10 pixel, Control S, and get the div to have the padding, for example, of also 5. Let's just take 10 pixel like this. You will see how it is working like, and you can see there is something that is happening there. And then I want to take my button to have the background color, let's say background of linear gradient of to top, for example left, to have, I want what, for example I want red again like this. And see what, let's say I want this kind of red, and you can see nothing happening. To top left, to top left, one other thing, and you can see something have happened. And you can say wanna give it my padding of dot 6 m by 1.2 m, and give a border none as the border radius is, for example, border slash radius to be, for example, 5 pixels like this. And when you save, you can see our button is working very well. It has just changed any color that is inside in the button, and say I want this button to have, for example, a color, no, Control Z like that. And then you set the color to white, later with the transition all must have 200 millisecond is in out like that. And set the button on hover like this, and set its background, no, let us not set any background, and say I want it transform its scale, transform from scale scale, no, Control Z, transform, scale like this to be 2 px, no, 1 dot, for example, 0 3. And when I have done this, I want to know whether it is working very well. You can see it is working very well. That is the property of this PyCharm that I have already installed here. And next day we'll be talking about the Python. That is why you are seeing a single thing that is loading there. And I wanna give this div a simple border, radius of 10 pixels. And if I wanna give this simple button any box shadow like this, I wanna say I want this box shadow, for example, to pixie, 10 pixie, 3 pixie black. And when you change this black to brown like this, Control S to save, and you can see my button is acting like that. And I don't want that Z part to be there. I want it to have, for example, 2 like this here, and set it to, for example, -1. Control S to save, and you can see the way it is working. Like my button is working very well. And then the property of Glassmorphism, how Glassmorphism will be working like. And I want you to see, for example, I want to set this section, let's say this section must have, for example, the background color of blue. Let's say this, I want it to have the background color of blue. Let's slice it like this. And I want to show you the magic of Glassmorphism, how to be working like. And let us give this padding, for example, 30 pixels like this. And you can see there is something that is happening. Then the property of Glassmorphism, inside the div, you come here and say backdrop filter, and you take with blue to 12 pixels like this, or even 30, and you reduce this. As you reduce this, you will see the magic that happened. You can see what is happening right here. This is the property of the Glassmorphism. Can you see it? And if I want to change something, for example, I want to lower this simple, I can raise it above like this, so that you can see brackish color there. And you can see how it is working. Like, this is the property of Glassmorphism. It works like as if it is about to it is the black glass that you want to show something that is behind, but you cannot see it clearly. But if I change the color to, for example, my color to black again, and the background, and I allow this background to be like, for example, at the top, this is how you'll be looking this web. Now you can see how it is working. Like, it is about to show blue, but it cannot show blue. And when I reduce something with this color and reduce it like this, this is where clearly the magic of Glassmorphism is going to happen. Yes, and now you can see how it is working. Like, it is like grass that is trying to show us something. And then when you take again this color and you allow it to be white, like it was white, even smoke like that, and then you may allow the div to have the border, for example, from 1 pixel solid dark blue like that, and you can see something is happening. Congratulations, you have already done your first Glassmorphism, and it may work when this is black When you come here and set this RGB to black, let's bring this top and say we want it to be here, and the Control S, you will see also Glassmorphism working very clearly. It is trying to show us black, but you cannot see black because we have put there the grass on this simple part of the website. Hope you have enjoyed this video, and don't hesitate with your like or even subscribe, because you are taking me to the next level. This is showing me that I'm already working and the people are liking what I'm doing. So don't hesitate. This is the very crucial part that you want to help me to win as I help